Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be playing Dragonfire, and this is a cooperative deck building game set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. And if you're familiar with a game called Shadowrun Crossfire, this uses the same system with some tweaks and extra things, and it's got a completely different setting. So hopefully if you've never seen either of them, I'll show you how to play completely, and hopefully I'll show you some of the differences. So I'm playing a two-player game today with Little Glass Marty. He is the wizard here. He's a Sun Elf wizard, and I am a human fighter. And the game comes with these two, plus all of these character screens. These are supposed to be obviously stood up and hiding your cards and things. But yeah, there's basically, well, half this, because I think for every type there is a male and female version. But yeah, there's all sorts of different races and classes in there, and there's already, you know, some expansions that add more of those things, so there's a lot of different things. And so what changes? Well, as in Shadowrun Crossfire, your starting hand, starting money, and starting health are different based on who you are. So I get 3 cards in my hand at the start from my deck, 2 money, and 10 health. And also my equipment pack, which is my starting deck. I have 4 basic martial cards, a basic arcane card, a basic devotion, and a basic deception. Now, special for a two-player game, you take away one of the cards that you've got the most of. So I've got the most martial, so I take one of those away and I add a blessing card instead, which is usually a card you would buy for 2 gold. You start with this, and basically you can play this out of your turn. You can play this in your turn as a green damage, or you can play it out of your turn as a damage of any colour. And this is to kind of make up for the fact that, you know, we aren't really strong in green, although we have got an extra green card each because of the blessings. We aren't that strong in green, and we're certainly not strong at all in red, in deception, because I only start with 1, Marty only starts with 1. He's a Sun Elf wizard who starts with loads of cards in his hand, 1 more money than me, but only 5 health, so he's quite fragile. He starts out with an extra arcane, an extra cantrip in his starting deck. And otherwise, it's very similar to mine. He has got a special ability, though, Keen Senses. If an enemy is going to surprise us and do some nasty effect, Marty can try and make a skill check and, you know, give it to me instead, because maybe I can take it if it's some damage on things. But we'll see skill checks and everything as we play. Now, the base game comes with 7 different adventures for you to go on. I'm going to be playing the most basic today, the Dungeon Crawl, which is, you know, similar to the Crossfire mode of Shadowrun Crossfire. We will just be going through a dungeon and hopefully taking out all of the bad guys there. But there's an additional one, the Portcullis. The Portcullis is Breached is an extra basic one. But then on top of that, 5 of them are part of this, An Ancient Evil Arises, which is a campaign basically with a great big story, which I won't spoil any for you, but a story and some choices and things. And this is hopefully a taste of what will come out in the future for it. And you can play these, you know, separately if you just really liked one. Okay, so I'm playing a dungeon crawl, and it gives us a little bit of story. The townsfolk are terrified. Monstrous inhabitants from the nearby dungeon continually raid the surface, burning fields, disrupting trade, and taking captives. The town needs adventurers willing to brave the depths, and that is us. So to set up the adventure, and this is a difference from Shadowrun Crossfire, instead of having, you remember Shadowrun had 2 decks, one with 1 bullet on and one with 2 bullets, and it was the primary and secondary deck. Instead of any of that, Dragonfire comes with a ton of enemy cards, and I know I've sleeved them so it looks thicker than there actually. It looks like there's a lot more than there are, but instead of that, there are these symbols on the corner. So this one is Wilderness 1, and there is, you know, Adventurers 2, and it will tell you which ones to use as the primary and secondary decks. And you just use a selection of them that are, you know, suited to the adventure that you're going on, which is a really nice thing. In this case, we have got Dungeon 1 and Dungeon 2. So that symbol there means Dungeon 1, and that's a troll. We're probably not going to see that because he's on the bottom of the deck, but they are the enemies that we will be fighting. So just like in Crossfire, this works with scenes. So we play through 3 scenes and then we will win. At the start of each scene, reveal encounters as indicated in the chart below. So, in scene 1, we need to reveal encounters equal to the number of characters. And based on the Dragonfire level, which we'll see rise as the game goes on, you reveal secondary characters. The Dragonfire level is how many Dragonfire cards are in the discard pile. At the start of the game, obviously, that's none. So I will draw then. There are cases, if you're playing on higher difficulties or if you're doing optional extras, all of the missions have optional scenarios to make it harder and get more experience. Because this is a campaign-based game. You know, your characters will earn XP, they will get abilities that are stickers that they will go on their character sheets. So, the enemies. The first one that we draw goes to the character whose class type colour matches that encounter's colour. And, you know, I am Marshall, black, and Marty is Arcane, blue. But because it's a two-player game and all of the colours relate to something, we need to take on 2 colours each. And all of this means is, if something refers to the green character, the Devotion character, it means me, because I am Marshall and Devotion. And these are, you know, yeah, they are to let you know the colour that you are, but they do have some use in locations, which hopefully we'll see. And which means that Marty, as well as being Arcane, is Deception as well. And it can make difference to cards you can buy and all sorts, but let's see the 2 that we've got. So the first one is Swarming Skeletons, and I am the green class, so that one goes to me. So this is something special. It's got tokens on it. So it tells us to go and grab 2 tokens. So I'll get 2 green tokens here, and we put them on top of the skeletons. And this is to represent, you know, this isn't just one skeleton we're fighting, this is swarming skeletons, it's a swarm of skeletons. So now there are 2 more skeletons on top of here. They will take 1 colourless damage to get rid of, but if they stay there, they're going to do a damage each. So this card altogether at the moment does 3 damage on its own. Also, the actual card itself and the damage this card needs, we can't do anything to this skeleton until we've gotten rid of the tokens from it. So the second enemy, oh, it's another green, Orog. So he looks quite nasty. Nothing special happens to him. You can see he takes a lot more damage than the other card to get rid of. He's going to do 2 damage himself, and when he's killed, he can do a level of damage to something else. I'm going to be the first player, and it usually recommends that the person with the most health is the first player because we will have more time to do things. You know, we've got basically my turn and Marty's turn before Marty takes that hit, because he's only got 5 health. He's going to take 2 damage. Since I'm the first player, I need to reveal the first Dragonfire card, but this is a 2-player game, and your Dragonfire level starts off at -2. To indicate this, you just put some tokens on top. So instead of revealing a card, I'm just going to get rid of one of these tokens. And you can obviously, you know, make it harder for yourself and not start with that. So on my turn, I do want to help Marty, but I need to do 3 damage in one go to any colour to do this first level. You have to do these levels of damage in order to the enemy. And so I could play all of my cards and do that first level, but I think there's something more useful that we can do. Because Marty starts off with so many cards, this is going to be a lot easier than normal, I think. So, what I'm going to do first is play these 2 cards here, and these are just basic cards of the colour that they are. So they represent different things that you're doing. So this represents glory and cantrip, or I can show you the other one that Marty's got. Oh, stealth. The Deception character would be stealthy, and it doesn't always represent damage that we're doing to things. It can represent, if we're in locations, it can represent that Marty has met someone and deceived them or something like that. But anyway, I'm just going to play these 2 cards. They don't do anything special. I'm going to play them to an encounter, and they're going to deal damage in a bit, because there are phases of the turn. So at the start of the turn, you would, if there was Dragonfire cards, you would apply their effects or any other effects. Then you play cards, which I have done. I'm going to stop playing right there. The next phase is deal damage. So we pick an encounter where I played cards. So that's only this one. And we assign the damage. So I have played a Martial and an Arcane damage, a black and a blue. Let's just call them by the colours from now. So it goes on here. I can't damage the skeletons, remember, but I can get rid of both of his tokens. And this because we don't really want me taking 3 damage at a time when we can prevent it just with 2 cards. So I am going to get rid of both of those. These are now discarded. The next phase is take damage. So everything in front of me deals damage to me. 1 damage from the skeletons there, and this is a bit easier with 2 hands and when your screen's standing up. So I've got 9 health now, not too much to worry about, I don't think. Next we have the Replenish Phase. Here, if you've got 3 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw 2 cards. 4 or more cards, you don't take anything. So you don't really want to end a turn with 4 cards or more. So I draw 2 black cards, which is, you know, the most likely to draw. That's all my black cards now. Next we have the market phase. This is the market. We draw from this big deck, just shuffle it all up. 6 cards come from it. It's also where the blessing cards came from. They would be in the market deck if they weren't in our decks for the 2-player game. And I started off with 2 money. I can buy as many cards as I want, but I can only afford 2 money. So I can buy this grapple. It does 1 black damage, just like my basic cards, but when I play it, I could move an encounter facing someone else to face me instead, and it couldn't attack this turn. That's quite attractive. But I think a lot more attractive right now is this Javelin, which is also 2 money, also does 1 black damage if I play it on my turn, but it has an assist effect. So I can play this out of my turn. When it's Marty's turn, I can say, I can help you, and play this, and it will do not only a black damage, but also a colourless damage as well. So I'm boosting his damage by 2 by buying this card if I play it, which I probably will. The market immediately gets replenished, and we've found a command presence, a more expensive black card. And these swords, hopefully these come into play. If the martial player, this is only for the martial player, if he plays 3 swords, for every 3 swords that he plays, either when it's his turn or if he plays them all as assists, he gets to draw an extra card, which can be a big deal because obviously we're not drawing that many cards in this game. Anyway, that's the end of my turn now. We come over to Marty. So he has got quite a harsh enemy to beat here, but I think we can do it. If I offer to play my Javelin, we need to remember this is my card, but we'll just play them all up in here so you can see. I'm going to play the Javelin to him. So that's 2 damage that I have done to him. We don't need black for any specific level, so we can just say it's anywhere. And really, you have to imagine that these cards, the order and everything that we play them, it only matters for the effects that we get. That's the only reason that there's an order. The deal damage phase is a completely separate phase to playing the cards for their effects, and so the order you played them in doesn't matter at all. You're making a kind of pool of damage that you then apply to the enemy that you played the cards to. Okay, so if Marty plays his glory, then we've effectively done that level of damage, 3. He's got a lot of blue cards, so he could play 1, and then we've done the blue level. 2 more cards of any colour, and we have done that level. And then, in fact, this is going to leave us with no cards, but I think we can kill both of these right now. And then all he needs is a green. And provided that we choose to resolve him first, his power is he deals a level of damage to another encounter, which could be the first level of the skeletons, and then Marty has got a blue card left over, which if he plays this to here but doesn't resolve him until we've done Orog, then we can kill them both, which is brilliant. You know, you can play cards to any enemy that's out there. Locations and things do change that, but generally, when they're just out here in the open, you can play them to anybody's. They don't have to be yours. They're only in front of you to show that, you know, any effects affect you and the damage comes to you. So we've played all the cards that we can. I've even got a blessing, which I could play instead. But I think I'll just leave it because we don't need any specific colour, do we? It would give Marty an extra card, but he's going to get a ton of money. I assume he's going to be buying things. So then we move on to deal damage. So we worked all of this out, didn't we? I'm basically doing 2 colourless, 3 colourless, blue, 2 colourless, green, kills Orog. We get 7 money for this. It's split. Basically, the first money goes to Marty because it's his turn. Then it would go around the table if there were more players. It would go around the table, and then if it goes back to, if there's still money left when it comes back to Marty, he gets another one, and we go round and round again until all of the money's gone. Basically, in a 2-player game, Marty gets 4, I get 3. Now, Orog has been vanquished, and his vanquished ability is to deal a level of damage to another encounter. And although we're not going to need it for long, he can just go in the discard pile now. Although we're not going to need it for long, let's put a little, you can put these tokens on them, which I really like because I didn't notice at first until the rulebook was emphasising it, but they're little daggers. I won't use it actually because I've just realised it's very hard to do with one hand. Anyway, so we've resolved all of that. These all go into Marty's discard pile. And this would go into my discard pile. And then we can resolve the next enemy. Well, it's had its green level done to it, and there's a blue damage waiting, kills the skeletons as well. So that's 2 gold each. So that's all of the damage to be dealt. Take damage, there's nobody in front of Marty, so he is just fine. Replenish, he's got no cards, so he can draw 2. So Marty now has, he started with 3, he got 4 from the first and 2 from the second, so he's got 9 money. Wow. So what have we got out here? We've got a lot of cards here. The spiritual weapon is very nice. For only 4 gold, it does a green and 2 colourless, and it can do that on its assist as well, but only for the devotion class, and I am the devotion class. I think this would be great. This deals 2 levels of damage to an encounter, so if, you know, an enemy had 5 colourless, this would do both of those, or if it had a colour that we haven't got, it would do all of those. I think that is the most exciting at the moment. So he spends all but 2 of his money, and then we can see what comes out. Maybe there'll be something that he wants to buy. Grapple, which are nice. It's a black damage, but Marty is not really the character we want grabbing people and making more enemies face him. Okay, we've ended the round there, but we've also ended the scene, which gives us a short rest. Now, if we had any exhausted tokens, these happen when you get stunned, they would go away. We haven't got any exhausted tokens. We heal 1 HP, doesn't matter for Marty, but I took a damage, so we are back to full. We're doing very well. This is very lucky. Then we get to buy cards again now, once each. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 money after all of that. I am very tempted to buy Command Presence or Spiritual Weapon. Spiritual Weapon's more damage, and it's green. Command Presence, I can choose another player, they draw a card and then play a card. But at the moment, see, I like the fact that Marty has used his entire deck and is probably going to use these cards next turn, because he will then shuffle this new card into his deck, and it's got a good chance of coming up, because this isn't like a normal deck builder where you are kind of building an engine for later on. You don't draw that many cards, as you can see, and so you're not really going to get to see those cards that many times. You're buying for now, which makes this buy a bit risky, because I don't know that an enemy needing green at all is going to come out. I'm going to go for it though, because that's a lot of damage, and we are weak in green and red, although we need to buy some red cards, don't we? None have come out. 3, 4 money. And I will get this. It goes into my hand as well. That's different from a normal deck builder. They would usually go into your discard pile. They go straight into your hand. I have done that, but I haven't mentioned it. Twist the Knife. It costs 5. You have to have played a deception card this turn. It deals a level of damage as an assist, or 2 red if you play it on your turn. Marty gets to buy. He's not going to buy a grapple. If you don't buy anything when you've had the chance to buy, then you can discard one of the cards from the market. That is a new rule to Dragonfire, which kind of stops the market from getting stale. So he will discard one of the duplicate grapples that we've got, and Cloud of Daggers. This is a really nice card. Costs 5. You have to be the Arcane class. If you're the Arcane class, which is just a blue class basically, all the colourless levels on an encounter are -1 this turn. But if you're the Wizard, Marty is not just Arcane, he is a Wizard. All colourless levels are -2. And, you know, it does 2 blue and a colourless as it is. It's quite expensive though. We're done with the buying, so that's the end of the short rest, and we can move on to Scene 2. So for Scene 2, it tells us to reveal encounters equal to the number of characters +1. So basically, whoever gets the first one this round is going to get 2 enemies. And the Dragonfire level is still 0 for this purpose, so we are drawing from deck number 1 still. So let's go. The first one goes to green and... this isn't great, but it's not terrible either. This is a location, so I'll get to show you what a location does. This is completely new to Dragonfire. Sadly though, the surprise is I need to discard 2 cards. I am just going to discard my Glory at the moment, because it looks like green will be a good colour to have against this location. So we put my marker now on the location to show that I'm in there. This doesn't make any difference to the any other enemies that I'm going to be facing. They're considered to be on the cursed ground with me. It matters if say Marty got put into a location as well, we couldn't assist each other. As it is, Marty is considered to be on the Adventure Environment card. There isn't a card. There is one you can print off on Board Game Geek, actually. I haven't done that. But Marty's, you know, on the Adventure Environment, out in the field. Okay, the next one. We've got some more swarming skeletons for Marty. We're going to have to take out the little ones, definitely, to stop him taking a load of damage. And then I get a final one, which is a Grell. When it attacks, it also attacks the Deception character unless it's already facing that character. That's a shame, so that is going to attack both me and Marty for the time being. Okay, it's my turn. Start of the round, we take the final token off here, so next round we're going to be drawing a Dragonfire card. And you know, it seemed very easy last round when we had all of those cards, but now we have not got that. Now basically, I could start taking this location out because it's dealing a damage. Being on the cursed ground is damaging me. But I could try and work out this quickly, but it might be in my interests to do this one as quickly as possible because it's hitting Marty as well. Or do I just take out Marty's skeletons for him? So Marty's got that lightning bolt that does 2 levels of damage. The problem there is that we haven't got much red. Now I could play the spiritual weapon here and it would do, 1 green and 2 colourless would take us down to here. And then Marty's last 2 levels would defeat this. But maybe we want to get the Grell to here so Marty's 2 levels do the reds that we're lacking in. I think I'm not too bad on green. I'm going to play the spiritual weapon to this Grell. And then it will do the first level of the Grell. It's a lot of money as well if we defeat this. Because it seems as well quite nice that maybe I could have just played it to the skeletons, 2 colourless damage and then a green. You can't split damage across enemies. And these count as separate encounters, really. I have a blessing, but I might as well save that until Marty's turn and then we can see what colour we need. Because I could play this as an assist and then I'm doing a red all of a sudden. So we move to take damage. I'm taking 2 damage from these. Unfortunately, Marty also takes a damage from that Grell. I draw 2 cards in the Replenish. There's my other red. So I could defeat the Grell on my turn, I think. I don't know. Then the market phase, I've got 1 money. Cards are at least 2, I think. So I can't do anything there. Marty's turn. Now, I think he has to try and take out these first because that's 2 unnecessary damage that he can just completely get rid of. He could kill the skeletons and not take any more damage. But then we are kind of risking the Grell. Or he could play, if he just takes 1 more damage, he could play this to the Grell and do 2 levels. I could do this as a red, and then I can finish it off on my turn. I think that's more attractive because we can do the skeletons other thing a bit easier, I think. Although he is taking another damage this turn. I think we do that. He's going to use these on the tokens, and basically let's just get rid of those now. Just going to use 2 standard cards, get rid of those tokens. He's going to take 1 more damage. He's going to play the lightning bolt on the Grell, which, as we know, puts it down to there. Marty's got 2 money, but he doesn't want that grapple again. So he's going to get rid of the healing word. Although he actually draws before that. Oh, we get a super powerful black card. We need more red, really, don't we? I am just going to shuffle his deck. So he's got a blue and a red, which wouldn't take those out, unfortunately. Anyway. He should also take damage. I'm doing this all out of order. There we go. He's on 3 health now. So here is where we start drawing Dragonfire cards. There's no more tokens for us to get away with it here. Uneasy pickings. A quiet step. The softest touch. As hard-won treasures slip your hold. All lost, forgot, or set aside. For all that glitters is not gold. The gold value of each defeated encounter decreases by 1. Now that's a pain because we're going to kill something. If the Dragonfire level was 4 or more, we would have an extra effect. But it's not, so we don't get that. And this goes on top of the deck. You put it on top of the deck because it's not in the discard pile and counting it as a Dragonfire level. Okay, it's my turn. And I think we are just going to kill the Grell. Let's just think, is there a way around this? Yeah, there is a way to kill the Grell and the skeletons this turn, but it would mean that the Grell does the damage to both of us again. And I think it would be nice to get some money and then I could buy some cards and things. So I'm going to stick with the original plan and just use these cards, red and then 2 colourless damage to attack the Grell. That is done with. So that is, it's 7 because it's reduced because of the Dragonfire card. So 4 for me, 3 for Marty. I still take a damage from being on cursed ground. Okay, I need to draw 2 cards. Okay, I draw a red and a black, and I can buy stuff, and I probably want to buy that green card. So I've got 5 money. I'm going to buy the Augury. So that's 3. And then I could buy Opportunity. This lets you buy cards from the market in your turn. Or do I buy Grapple? I might buy Grapple because this might be more useful later when something else is hitting Marty. And another cloud of daggers comes out. Marty's turn, and he can't really do much until he can buy. He has got enough for Twist the Knife if he plays a red card. I think he will play the red card there to do the first level of damage to it. And, oh, he could have Cloud of Daggers, though. That could be brilliant for the final scene. No, I think he's going to buy Twist the Knife, because that's a level of damage as well. Oh, I'm doing that a bit early. So he's going to save this, because we need to do green and blue. So he gets to draw 2 cards. He takes another damage, though. He's on 2 health already. He's just got blue! Okay, he's going to buy that Twist the Knife. Because maybe he'll just assist me and do a level of damage instead. A new card comes out in the market, a Blessing. Very cheap and very, very cool. So it's a new round. This now goes into the discard pile. And a new one comes out. Cursed. Oh no. Oh, I remember that feeling I do. The dregs of fear and the hopelessness of a battle long since lost. Taking every last scrap of strength to swing a blade. To even recall a bit of the magic. At times to place even one foot after the other without falling. At the start of your turn, make 2 skill checks. For each one you fail, discard a card. This is really, really... could be bad. So, skill checks. They are a new thing to Dragonfire. When you make a skill check, you draw the top card of your deck. If it matches your class colour, then you succeed. If not, you fail. So let's... And the card you draw goes in the bottom of your deck. So it's got an advantage of maybe it's cycling through your basic cards, so you get to the good cards later. But also, this could be a good card. So I pass the first one. This goes on the bottom of your deck. And then the second one, I fail. I'm not blue at all. So I need to discard something. We don't need stealth right now, so I'm going to discard that. Okay, so my actual turn... I think we're stalling too much on these cards. Okay, I am going to play Augury on here, because that will do the green and the 1 level. Marty will assist and do these swarming skeletons. A huge waste to do a level of damage just for 1 green, but we need it. And I will do both of those with those. I'm doing this a bit early, but it's just to kind of track what I've been doing. Now I can play the Javelin on Marty's turn. It will do more damage. So he's going to kill the skeletons. Oh, I need to do a devotion check for this. A devotion check is different from a skill check because it doesn't need to be your colours, it needs to be green. So I draw in its glory, so I fail at that, unfortunately. But it still does its damage. So are we saying that we're saving everything else? I think we are. I've got 3 or fewer, so I can draw 2. Spiritual Weapon is going to let us do it this round. That is really good. Okay, Marty's turn. Oh. We'll see. Oh, I think I can kill this with my assists. And Marty will only at the most have to discard 2 cards, because he needs to make 2 skill checks now. And his blues are mostly in his hand. So his first one is green. That's not his colour. Goes on the bottom, and he has to discard a card. Next one is black. It's not his colour. He has to discard a card. Luckily, though, all he needs to do is play this. I didn't take a damage, did I? I can't buy anything, so I didn't miss anything there. He's going to play that to there. And me... as an assist, I am going to play these 2 here, because this will do green and 2 damage, and black and 1, and it will finish off the location as well. So, Marty is going to get... we get 2 each from the skeletons. And Marty gets 3, I get 2 from the cursed ground. Marty replenishes. Oh, he's got his lightning bolt ready for whatever baddies await us next time. And he's got 5 money. Now, does he just go for that cloud of daggers and hope that we get enemies with colourless damage? Yeah, let's go for it. He is blue and nothing else. This is probably not a clever way to, to build your deck in this. And then Cure Wounds. And wouldn't you know it, we have done this scene again. So, an extra thing happens when you have completed a scene. You bury the top Dragonfire card. So instead of getting added to your level... it just goes on the bottom here. Okay, we heal 1 HP, which is very important for Marty. I've got a grapple that's going to be very important. And we can buy cards, which is good for me, because I have got 4 money. So it's very tempting to buy Command Presence. Cure Wounds would be okay, maybe a Blessing... instead, but I think Command Presence would also let me draw a card as well. It lets Marty draw a card and play one, potentially his, Lightning Bolt. I think that's going to be really good. And we replace it with another Spiritual Weapon. That's all of my money. And we're on Scene 3. So, Scene 3 is number of characters plus 2. We're each going to be facing 2 enemies. So let's see what we come up with. The first one comes from Encounter Deck 2, though. And we have Galeb Dur. Okay, this square means that he is not affected by things that do levels of damage. That level is not affected by things like that. So Marty gets the level 2, and Dispel Magic is for things that are, you know, in play. We haven't got anything like that yet. The next one comes from Encounter Deck 1 and goes to me. Swarming Zombies. We get an extra token on these. These need 2 colourless damage to get rid of. They're a bit harder than the skeletons we've seen. Marty's got a giant spider, and I've got a Minotaur. When it's vanquished, it can discard an encounter. So that might make that quite attractive to get rid of first. We could just discard an encounter, because we don't get any gold from it, but, you know, the aim of the game is to kill all of the things. So it's the start of a round. We draw a Dragonfire card. Haunted. The runes are difficult to read and might have easily been missed except for the otherworldly glow that emanates from the carved edge. An old dwarvish script reads, "As in all things, fate shall take a hand." When this card is placed in the discard, also place the top card of the Dragonfire deck in the discard, but don't resolve its effect. So it's basically accelerating our Dragonfire level and making, you know, bad enemy effects, which actually these haven't got, and bad other Dragonfire effects. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, don't you? So we need to play these cards, but where are we going to play them to? So I will play this on him, and I will use its grapple power to bring the giant spider to me. The giant spider can't attack this turn. I'll just put a thing on there saying it can't. Marty will assist and play this to here for its assist action. Then I'm going to play my command presence here and kill this zombie token, basically. And because I have played 3 swords now, I get to draw a card. Let's see what it is. It's a blessing. So I might be better off waiting until Marty's turn for that. But Marty does get to draw a card and then play a card. So he's got a blessing. So he won't play that because he could save that and do it as any colour. Yeah, he'll play this to do the first 2 levels to the Minotaur, because that's a lot of damage done in one go. He'll play his blessing as an assist, and this is going to get so mixed up because they're everybody's different cards. He's going to play the assist as a red on the giant spider, because that's something we need to sort out. I think that's the plan. What have we done here? So if we sort out all of this damage, we've killed that. We've done 2 levels of damage to this. That's Marty's. We've done the first level to this. So I'm taking 3 damage, which is doable, I think. And then we've killed this, haven't we? Because colourless levels are -2, so it's 0. Oh no, we didn't do the 2 blue. We could ignore that for a bit. This is some take-backs, isn't it? We could have played this here, and then Marty did his assist there as normal. And then the things are -1, so I've done that by doing that 1. And then on my turn, I can play my thing as red, assist, and get rid of that, because it does a lot of damage. And then what we could actually do is say that Marty did play his lightning bolt, but on the zombies instead, and I could play my blessing just for its green, and we've killed the zombies. 2 levels, green, zombies are dead, that's 2 damage saved. Okay, I've got no idea if that is better, but hopefully. So I get 3 gold, Marty gets 2. So I'm still going to take 1, because the Minotaur is free. The giant spider, remember, was stopped by my grapple. It probably wasn't that long ago in the video, but it's quite a while in unedited real life. I get to draw 2 cards. I get some glory. And then I have 3 money. So I could buy a blessing, which is probably the most useful thing, isn't it? That's anything to help. Yeah, I'm going to get that. Okay, it's Marty's turn, and he can't do very much at all. But we can do a little bit. I will play my blessing as a red damage on there, and Marty will play this. So we do deal damage. That kills the giant spider. So that is 3 gold each. Marty's going to take a damage from Galeb Dur. Draw 2 cards. It's a green and a black, but he has money, 5 money, and this should have stuff in it. Cloud of Daggers with its damage is probably going to be quite useful on Galeb Dur, because I can kind of put up with the Minotaur for a little bit. Although we completely ignored his power, that's why we wanted to kill him early. Oh, all that dithering around, and I forgot the plan. Or we could just focus on the Minotaur then, and kill it. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? If we do Cloud of Daggers, and then I need to have red somehow to finish it off. Let's see though. Yeah, he's going to buy Cloud of Daggers. All of his money. Cloud of Daggers. And we have Opportunity there. A new round means a new Dragonfire card, and this puts this one into the discard. Doesn't matter what it was. Kill the wizard first. Oh no. It's dangerous. The glow of magic wraps around you, and mostly it leaves a comforting warmth, mostly, but there are days when that costs you, and there are villains who know to prey first upon those who reek of knowledge and power. Move all non-location encounters to the arcane character if the Dragonfire level is 3 or more, and it is. So that means the Minotaur is going to go over to Marty, which is going to stun him if they're allowed to attack. Okay, so I've only got 2 black damage, which is not useful at all. Let's look at what we can buy. It's a bit early, you know, we've got to do the turn first, but let's try to think. Maybe it'd be useful to have a red damage for when it's my turn again. Let's see, if I just buy this and wait around, then I think Marty can... Oh no. Right, with my other 2, I'm going to buy this Javelin. Oh, it's not the buying thing yet. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything on my turn. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. Nothing's in front of me, which is a shame because I've got loads of health. I don't pick up particularly useful cards, but it's fine because we come over to Marty. Oh no, we don't. We do my buying. There we go. Opportunity and Javelin for my 4 money. So I've got a nice hand of cards. So what came out? Misty Step, Flaming Oil, really nice. Some encounters when you've got a ton of tokens. This is a fantastic card. 2 damage to everything facing someone. Anyway, Marty is going to get assisted for 2 damage from my Javelin. He's going to play this, which is going to be 2 blue and a white. So he needs to do 1 more damage to the Minotaur. And that's going to put the Minotaur over there. Okay, I think that's good enough. That's all he's going to do. He's got no money. Now, when it comes to the take damage phase, he gets stunned, which means we give him an exhausted counter. He shuffles his hand, discard pile, and deck all together. Okay, now we've done that. In his Replenish phase, he only gets to draw 1 card because he is stunned. He gets his Lightning Bolt, which would be great if I could make him play it, but I can't. If Marty takes any damage while he's stunned, he's going to die, and then he's out, and everything comes to face me instead. If I heal him, he gets to draw 2 cards, and then everything's normal until he gets stunned again. If he gets stunned again, though, when he's got an exhausted token, and remember, these go away when we short rest at the end of a scene, if he gets stunned again while he's exhausted, he dies. So he's in trouble, but everything is fine as long as the Dragonfire card doesn't spoil everything for us. So we come over here. The God's Displeasure. A powerful voice shakes the ground upon which you stand. A language older than Elvish, perhaps as old as creation itself, sears your mind. Shouts of rapture issue from your enemies. I paused there because I could only see Elvis when I first read it. The attack strength of each devotion encounter increases by 1, which is green, which is fine. But it doesn't matter, because nothing's going to get to hit, because all I am going to do is play Opportunity. I don't want to buy anything. Maybe I'll take this Minotaur aside and try and strike up a deal with him, or tell him that there's some juicier adventurers just around the corner. I'm going to do 1 red damage to him. I'm going to skip everything. Not draw cards, not anything. I don't care. I just want to do this red damage to kill the Minotaur, because when the Minotaur is vanquished, I can choose any other non-location encounter and discard it. We don't get gold for it, but who needs gold when we've won the encounter? Because all we need to do is complete the 3rd scene and we have won. Now this is the easiest adventure with no extra optional scenarios at level 1. So, you know, it's not incredibly difficult, but as soon as you start to add, as soon as you get to level 2, you have to change the Dragonfire level changes to make the thing harder, but you can start with 2 golds worth of market cards in your deck, and it balances it quite nicely. And then, you know, if you are finding anything too easy, you can start putting optional scenarios in. But it does all depend on... Oh, you can also change adventure decks for this as well, because this is the main, you know, the main meat of it. You play this, and this is what you generally will be doing if you just want a game that's outside of a campaign or anything like that. Although your characters will still level up. For every scene that you start, you get 1 XP. If we do the entire adventure, you get 2 XP. So these characters now have 5 XP. And we also get magic items. I'll show you this. This isn't really a spoiler. so I won't grab them all. There are a set of magic items in the game as well, and you would shuffle up all of the common ones for level 1, and we each get a magic item. This only applies the first time you complete an adventure. For Dungeon Crawl, it counts every level you complete it at as well. So once our characters get to level 2 at 10 XP, we could do Dungeon Crawl again and get another magic item. And as we do it at higher levels, we get better magic items because they have rarities. These are common magic items. So my character would draw Strength. This is a potion. It goes into my deck, and then when I have it in my hand, I can play it, consume it. That means it goes back into the box forever. It's gone. And then +1 to all non-basic martial cards you played this turn. And you see that's coming across in the video, right? That these are all shiny, groovy cards. And Marty gets Poison. This is one I have drawn twice, actually, in our main campaign. You consume it, the encounter has to save, and if it doesn't save, then it takes 3 colourless damage. I've used it twice now, and the encounter saved both times, which is really frustrating, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. They would go into your deck, and yeah, there is a big stack of these that go up to very rare, with items that end up staying in play, or maybe there'll be weapons that do some nice damage, or there'll be things that start in play as well and don't even go into your deck. But I haven't seen much of that because our characters are still, I think they're about to get to level 3, or they are just at level 3. We're kind of through the campaign, but I think I've shown a lot of the basics of Dragonfire. Oh, what do you use XP for in Dragonfire, you might wonder? Well, we have this huge selection of stickers here, and now I have 5 XP. Feature slot 1 is available to me from the start, so these backgrounds are something special for if you did the starter scenario, but I didn't do that with these characters. So 5 XP, I could buy any of these stickers. You can see we've already bought a few on our main characters, but basically things like, at any point in the game, exchange 2 colourless damage for a green. That's fantastic. We're not great at green, or maybe red. These 2 characters will be really weak at red. Once per game, cycle all of the cards in the market. At the start of the game, get an extra card in your deck. When you buy something that costs 6 or more, get a gold, and then they get better and better. We waited, because you don't have to get one yet, you will be a bit weaker in the scenarios, but we waited until we could afford 10, and I got one that adds a market slot, which is really useful in a 2-player game because it doesn't cycle that much. It's good to have extra options, and we both took one that gives us an extra card in our hand at the start of the game, but they go on to be, ridiculously expensive things, and these slots cost more and more to use as well, so your XP gets used up like that. But another thing, this is all Crossfire stuff. This was all in Crossfire. But in Dragonfire, you can go down certain kind of skill trees. So there are special stickers that only the cleric can take, or only a fighter could take. So here, I could take a fighting style, and particular ones would do different things. So I could have protection, or 2 weapon fighting, or great weapon fighting. And some of those, go down other trees. So extra attack and extra attack too. So there are specific things based on the character that you took and the way you want to go with it. And the character pack, I know there are a ton of expansions planned for this, but I do know that the first character expansion, which I don't have, that does include stickers as well. So I'm not sure if I think some of them kind of replenish those, and then some of them are specific to the new characters you get in there because there are new races and all sorts of things like that. But I think we've got on enough about Dragonfire. If you'd like to know what I think about it, then you can click this box on the screen here. But thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.